The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh. Got my hustle on, no imitation of bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throbbing my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly Podcast coming to you February 13th, 2025. Another guest this week. You know this guy. NBA podcaster, co-host of the It's in the Game podcast, also the host of The Breakdown on TikTok and all your social media platforms. Of course, my man, Sir Denny Blanco. What's good, man?
I have been invited once again to the show to provide you with some great insight. Thank you so much for trusting and believing in me. And
as always,
back, to share some ideas. It's in the Game podcast. Shout out to Randy J. Cruz. We appreciate you, and I am so looking forward to talking to you about some things today.
By the way, tell Randy I'll be tapping him on the shoulder very soon while coming on the pod. It's been too damn long. Honestly, yeah, I look back at the archives recently because I'm actually doing a little project here for my show. It's been close to about 8 or 9 years.
Oh wow, yeah,
that's too damn long.
Yeah,
we gotta take care of that. Yeah,
you gotta get him on so he can talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he can talk wrestling too, because
that's the thing too. Also, a lot of shit about wrestling too as well. Yeah,
so I dabble in it as a guy looking from the outside looking in. I just come usually when I see things, I'll just come over and be like, hey, by the way, don't you think you got too many belts? You got the Bronx belt. You got the Jersey belt.
The Jersey belt.
The tag team belts from, it's too. Yeah. I was just laughing about it with him the other day, and he was just like, "You got to because it's a bigger league." I was like, "That makes sense."
Yeah. All right, so we are now a week removed from the NBA trend line. Obviously these new players. I would say first off, and you probably agree with this also too, that this was probably the most active deadline, certainly in terms of name value, I think we've ever seen. When you have Luka moving for AD, when you have Jimmy Butler moving to Golden State, when you got De'Aaron Fox moving to San Antonio, Sacramento, you're talking about a couple of guys are all, if not all top 25 guys, certainly on the cusp top 25 guys in the league, all moving in the middle of the year. We're already a week in since those moves, and all these players have played on their team so far. Well, AD being more only on the half. But your thoughts so far on the transactions and what you've seen so far from each of these big moves?
Glad you asked. Did a bunch of breakdowns of the trade deadline, so I'll start with a couple of them. Number one, it's going on some job interviews, and the job, that at the end of the job, the employer says, thank you, but we're going with someone that fits our culture.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, what was the culture that I couldn't fit in? Shout out to Luka. It seems as if the owner, Mr. DuPont, he had he dropped an interview on Sunday. Was it Sunday? Sunday something special? Oh, the Super Bowl. Was it Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah.
I think the past Sunday. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No one was paying attention.
Yeah.
Come Monday, I said, wait. He said something, and I'll paraphrase something to the effect of, Jordan, Shaq, Kobe all had a winning mentality, if you will. And if you don't have that, no, we're not paying you to go on vacation. Excuse me, Mr. Dumont, excuse me. Apparently, he's saying a lot about Luka without saying a lot about Luka.
Yep.
And, it seems to be, he said, you're not part of the culture no more. He told him as a boss, you're not part of the culture. And people forget. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant played on the same team at one point.
Yeah.
The Lakers won 3 rings. Kobe Bryant looked around and said, yo, Shaq, you want to work out? You actually want to take this seriously? He's like, I'm Shaq, baby. Look at the centers in the league. I don't need to take this seriously. 50% of me is 100% better than the whole league. And Kobe's like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers had to make a decision. Do we stick with Shaq, the present, or do we pick the future in Kobe Bryant? They picked the future and traded Shaq, which nobody really thought that was going to happen. Even when
it wasn't popular when Shaq got traded here to Miami. It was not popular in LA. It was not.
Shaq was a free agent in Orlando, so that was a little different, right? But Lakers realized that there needed to be a business decision to be made.
Right,
we're going with Kobe, and that decision gave them 2 more rings, and it got Shaq 1 more ring in Miami, if I'm not mistaken.
Right
now, here we are. You got Dallas fans protesting because of the trade. You have Anthony Davis getting traded and then immediately getting injured. It's just funny to me. But I have to ask my Dallas fans. I'm like, yo, guys, I think if you guys win a championship in the next 3 years, it'll be worth Luka's trade. Mm-hmm. A lot of Dallas fans don't feel that way, and I don't understand. And that's just one trade. Jimmy Butler proved once again. Shout out to James Harden. Mm-hmm. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. I was told that once in my heyday.
Your heyday.
One time in my heyday. I was doing some nonsense, and somebody came to me and said, "Hey, the squeaky wheel always gets the grease." And I'm like,
"Yeah, of course."
I'm like, okay. So Jimmy proves once again, if you quit in your organization and ask them to trade you, they will begrudgingly, and then you can get a raise.
That's the thing too. Also, I was saying, I think I tweeted this also too. You may have saw that. Is it possible that in that Jimmy Golden State Miami transaction, that both Miami and Jimmy won, because Miami got back a nice little haul back from him, more than I thought they would get back, considering where they were in the negotiations. Jimmy won because he got moved and he got his money, which what ultimately he wanted anyway. And that the loser was Golden State, mainly because of the fact that I don't know. And look, granted, they've looked pretty good so far with him the first couple of games out the shoot. But my thing is long term. Is Jimmy the answer to the Warriors' problems long term? And I still say no.
No, not long term. I mean, he's got a 2-year deal. He's gonna solidify it. What happened was Golden State looked around. Steph has been just doing everything he possibly can.
Yeah.
Golden State started making phone calls. We call Jimmy. Okay, wait, what do you want for Jimmy? Call you back. Call Phoenix. What? Possibly could do something with KD. All right, KD has to give approval. All right, well, let's call KD. Call KD. KD picked up his phone, was like, hello? Steph, what up, though? Uh-huh. Nah, not gonna be able to do it, fam. Nah. Yeah, nah, so it's all good, though. Yeah. Click. Because in my head, I said, you mean to tell me Kevin Durant is gonna run away from Draymond Green and then run back to Draymond Green after he calls him a bitch? To his face?
Yeah.
Come on. No. Yeah. Ego and pride won't let that happen. No. Yeah. Bradley Beal, no trade clause. He may have been sent to Miami if he approved his trade clause, but he said, no, I'm staying right here.
And folks are like to me, like as a Heat fan, I was saying, like, it wasn't that I didn't want Bradley Beal. Is that I didn't want Bradley Beal with the no trade clause, so he can use that against the team if the team wanted to move him out there. And Pat Riley didn't. The reason Pat Riley didn't even go from 2 years ago was because of that no trade clause.
He's not even entertaining a no trade.
Right. Please. We're not dealing with that. Goodbye. You know what I mean?
Please. No, we don't. Do you see what Pat Riley did to D Wade?
Yes. And Shaq.
Come on. And then now Jimmy Butler. Come on.
Yeah.
They paid. Think about that. You want to go against. You want to say Jimmy was being Jimmy. Okay. Think about this. Jimmy Butler had a Miami team in the finals in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler. And what he got after that, he saw Duncan Robinson paid. He saw Bam paid. He saw Tyler Hero paid before him. Okay, I'm out. Deuces. Y'all don't want me. Y'all don't want me. Y'all don't want me. I'm going to beat you to the punch. You're not going to do me like D-Wade. You're not going to do me like Shaq. I'm going to beat you to the punch. And I was like, okay. There were some other trades that happened. DeAndre Hunter from Atlanta to Cleveland. That should shore them up a little bit.
Nice move. Nice little move.
That was a big shore up. But other than that, these
De'Aaron Fox. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is the one I always stuck to me most. De'Aaron
Fox is interesting because you don't want to put out there that you asked for a trade, but they traded you. But then Monk took less money to be there. DeMar DeRozan came there because of you.
Yeah, that whole thing was weird too. I thought he was happy in Sacramento. I didn't realize that was an issue. I came out of nowhere, to be honest with you.
Once I saw Sacramento losing this season with DeMar DeRozan and Sabonis, I said something's going on.
But they fired Mike Brown though, and when they fired Mike Brown, they started winning games. I'm not saying Mike Brown's the problem, but you figure he was.
Mike Brown was out. Doug Christie had them up and had them running. I was like, was that the reason why they were?
Yeah.
Running? So, but yeah, De'Aaron. It makes sense. De'Aaron goes over to San Antonio, the heir apparent to Chris Paul. Then him. And quite possibly Wembanyama, and quiet as kept. Where's Atlanta? Just to be on the safe side. Atlanta needs to make the playoffs.
They're playing, definitely.
They need to make the playoffs. Because if they don't, from what I've been reading, if they don't make the playoffs, the San Antonio Spurs owns their pick. And their pick could be Cooper Flag. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Cooper Flag, Wembanyama.
Potentially, of course, the lottery, right?
Potentially. But there's a potential. And sweet baby Jesus, we don't need two transcendent talents on one team.
Here's what's clear, though. Atlanta ain't getting into the playoffs immediately through the traditional way. They're gonna have to get to the play-in at this point, man. I mean, they're 3 back of the 6th seed, but I don't see that turning around at any point. So yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, so I mean, other than those are some big, definitely. Oh, Kuzma to Milwaukee, I thought was huge.
I like that.
Middleton needs to retire. God bless. You're telling me you have to learn how to walk again on those 2 ankles. You got to.
Yo, how about this one? I'm actually intrigued by Toronto and Brandon Ingram. They got a lot of wings there, but I'm intrigued. I think that's a team I think going forward next year. Looking at play-in team definitely.
I need them to get a solid point guard to get Scotty Barnes, BI, and
Barrett,
RJ Barrett the ball. They're building something great up there. If they can stay healthy and get a point guard,
they got trade assets too. Also, I don't see all 3 guys staying there beyond the year.
Whether you want to say free Trae Young, because it looks like they surrounded him with he's got some injuries and they traded away a bunch of picks from him, but Bogey got sent to the Clippers.
Right.
Yeah, maybe Trae looks good in the Toronto Raptors uniform with Scotty Barnes and BI and RJ Barrett.
That's a team that could compete in the East.
But what happens? And so I mean, and talk about trades. I think the Grizzlies shedded some people. Everybody else didn't really do anything big time. I like AD going with Max Christie. Max Christie is a good addition to the Dallas Mavericks, young, and spry. But other than that, I'm looking at the Thunder sitting up there, not doing anything too much, and we're gonna see what happens down the line. But I like the Kuzma pickup with the Bucks. And also too, you know what? No, not for nothing. I like Dennis Schroeder going to Detroit Pistons.
Well, eventually, his little carousel of teams was going through those 3 days.
It's like we like.
I was kind of mad because Miami was first. I'm like, oh, good, we got Schroeder in Miami. Okay. Then it's like, nah, that's part of the piece.
They're treating him like Ish Smith, which I love Ish Smith, and he's great, but they just don't want to give him a solid contract. Again, he also could have signed in. This is Dennis Schroeder. He could have signed with the Lakers for a couple million, but
Yeah.
find that option. But him going to the Detroit Pistons moves. You can move Kate Cunningham to the 2 and let him go to work, and then you're looking at something awesome. So definitely great trade deadline. A lot of talk. Obviously the Luka bomb. People thought Shams was going crazy. Thought his phone was broke.
What were you doing before I get to the next topic? What were you doing?
No problem. Randy J. Cruz likes to send me notifications anytime during the day because unfortunately I should have blocked him a long time ago, but I don't know what's wrong with me.
He's gonna hear this shit probably too. Careful.
No. I told him to his face. No, in terms of like late night texts, I should like no, nothing from him after 12 in the night. But literally 12:30, he sends me the notification.
You sound like an old man there when you say that, bro. I don't want to text until 12 o'clock at night time, man.
When you're talking about 6 hours, 5 hours of sleep, you get grumpy during the day, so you need
True.
So
True.
It's 12:30. I
feel
roll over. I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, he trolling. That ain't real. I woke up in the morning, looked at my phone again. Twitter's going haywire. I said, oh, it's true. Wow. And I need to get more information again because
cross-check, second check.
There was like, Luka. There was like Luka. Oh, he was 270, and then the next day he comes out and he looks like he's svelte. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I need to know what the reasoning behind. So after further review, I get an understanding. Like, yeah, listen, we didn't want to pay him $345 million to be lazy. We did not want to have a Jimmy Butler situation where he held us hostage and we didn't get nothing in return for him, i.e. AD, i.e. Many other examples where the trade happens and you get nothing. James Harden, you get nothing for him because you want him now.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dallas, the owner, said, you're not going to bitch me. Mr. Dumont said, you're not going to bitch me. I'm good. I'm going to get in front of this. And if we win a championship, I believe the Dallas Mavericks will get over it. So we're going to see.
Yeah, they better. And here's the problem with Dallas. They only got a 2-3 year window tops.
Oh, no, 2-3. That's all they need. Give me a championship within 3 years with that roster. Again, all I can remember is the replaying Boston Celtics Dallas series and watching every defensive possession with Luka and saying,
Need more.
Just like when you get down to these games in the playoffs and the finals, they're looking for one mismatch. And then they're going to do it every single time, every possession.
Mm-hmm.
They saw Luka just like the previous series. Luka saw Rudy Gobert and said, every possession we're going that way. Everyone. What? No, Kyrie. No, it's Rudy.
Yeah.
They did the same exact thing to Luka. Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown was like, Luka's got to be beautiful.
Yep.
Luka's got to
be. They were hunting him.
Hunting him. Please give me the ball. Give me. 2 points. 2 points. No resistance. So you have to think, okay, yes, these fans are like, oh, but he took you to the finals. They traded Shaq with 3 rings. They traded Shaq with 3 rings in the bucket already. Your man didn't win one. And he got you there, but he could be a reason why you didn't win one. Mm-hmm. So you surround Kyrie, who can score and facilitate on his own. You get a big man, Jason Kidd. You think Jason Kidd on a team with Dirk Nowitzki, 2 Hall of Famers, Dirk, Jason Kidd, goes up against Miami with 3 Hall of Famers and wins a chip. You don't think he knows anything about winning championships?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't think Jason Kidd sat? Move back. Forget Jason Kidd.
And yeah, I still find it crazy that they would do this to a guy not even in his prime yet.
No. Again, move back. Rick Carlisle. You know who Rick Carlisle is?
Of course.
Coaches for Indiana Pacers.
Correct.
Played in the league for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. He knows basketball. He knows championships. He coached Luka for I think 1 or 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
He said no, thank you.
So you think the Lakers may have a bigger problem in their hands, big picture, possibly?
I don't know. I just know that when Rick Carlisle quit, and I thought he was going to just not coach in the NBA at all, and then ended up in Indiana. And then I was like, somebody has to ask him. And they asked him, You had Luka. You have no one here at the
Yeah.
time. You
Yeah.
have no one here.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, good luck to Dallas. We're here now."
That's
so
interesting.
He gave up. So he gave up on Luka early. No one knows why. The owner and the Dallas Mavericks have given up on Luka now. So whether they know back information about laziness, whether they know back information about him, Luka not being focused, whatever they know, they made a business decision for their team.
Right. Next star or stars you think could be moved next year?
Joel Embiid.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Move him immediately.
Will he be moved, you think? Will teams want him?
I don't. Another question. But
it's a risk.
It's
a risk.
130%. It's a risk. I say move him because what are you getting for him? Or what are you getting when you have him? What are you getting?
Yeah.
What process are you trusting? The process is over. If you try to trust the process, the process is over.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey's by himself.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey's by himself. Paul George is stealing money. Breakdown with Denny Blanco. New video out. Paul George is stealing money. He's stealing some good money. $50 million. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. 37 minutes. $50 million man this year. 37 minutes gave you 2 points.
PG? Playoff P?
Last night, 37 minutes gave you 2 points. They interviewed him and he said, yeah, this break's going to do wonders for me, just rest up.
Another loss, too, especially. 2 points, 6 boards, 4 assists. Wow. 7 attempts only. This is pathetic.
Maxey looking at Joel Embiid early in the season saying, hey, you need to do better. A baby telling you need to do better.
You know they're lucky the Eagles won the Super Bowl because this would be big news. You know that, right?
He's always saved. Them, Joel and Paul.
Yeah.
They're saved with something else that saves them from being on the front page. But yeah, Joel off the top of my head is a big name that I think they should
consider trading.
Off the top trade. Obviously they traded let me see who else. I'm seeing everybody else. I don't
they traded Caleb Martin, know that. At this point, aren't they a second apron team also too? Potentially?
Possibly.
Yeah, they just paid Maxey his max. Close to his max anyway. Paul George getting $200 million for 4. Embiid has a big contract. They got to be close to a second apron team at this point now too. If you're the Sixers, you see what's going on here. You got to make a decision here. Obviously Maxey is untouchable at this point.
Or Maxey's untouchable, or like I said, Joel Embiid, or somebody. I spoke to somebody today. Shout out to him online. I love having conversations with people, just getting ideas. That's what the NBA Whisper Denny Blanco does. Get information that I could share with the folks. And he was mentioning how. Don't be surprised if Ant-Man's moved.
Ooh.
And I said,
That's a Riley guy too. That's a Miami Heat potential guy, I think, in my opinion.
I said, He said, think about it. He's in Minnesota. How many? Again, if you think about Minnesota, think the only player that really stayed there a long period of time was Kevin Garnett.
Right. Now, the ownership group is going to change very soon. They have this proof A-Rod and his partner now officially, so that's going to change very soon. So that maybe that helps him out his future there. We'll see. But historically speaking, I definitely could see a scenario in 2-3 years if Minnesota's not moving the needle. Like this year's a big example of that. Maybe he gets a little frustrated, and we'll see what happens there. Obviously, KD's always number one because KD's obviously they tried to win last week and it didn't happen. So. It's quite. I think KD's actually going to be the one move this summer. In fact, because I think Phoenix also looking to get on that apron as well too. Also,
well, if Phoenix wants to move him, he's not going to go to no bum team.
Well, he'll go to a team like a Miami or a contender.
Is he going to go to Miami? Is he going to go to Orlando? Why just didn't? Goodness grief! Again, the business decisions need to be made. Golden State gave the money. Not gave the money, excuse me. Golden State made the wrong commitment. They made the commitment to Draymond Green instead of Jordan Poole and Kevin Durant. I tell people all the time, I said, if Kevin Durant and Jordan Poole are on that team still, you're potentially talking about possibly another ring, maybe two. You never know, but
Yeah.
you look at what it is. Kevin Durant's going to be highly sought after, and whether he ends up on the Knicks, ends up on the Celtics, and somebody, but you're going to have to give away something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be. It's Kevin Durant now. Yes, you got AD for Luka. That's pretty even. Add Max Christian for extra sauce, but yeah, if you have KD on the left, it's not going to be a Rudy Gobert trade. Trust me.
Right. Who's the NBA MVP right now for you?
SGA.
Mine too, but that's shifting. That's shifting now.
Unless Denver takes the number one slot with your man Joker averaging a triple double, basically. He's already won 3 MVPs and he's averaging a triple double now.
He's on his best. He's on his best season of his career right now.
The best production previous to the 3 MVPs. But
early in the year, I was saying it was still SGA because at the time when we had discussion, I think you and I think back in November, December, Denver was still like a hero above 500. It was still kind of struggling. Jokic was doing his thing, and OKC obviously running away with the conference, and they still are. However, Denver now is starting to surge. Now they're on 8 in a row. They're number 3 in the conference now currently, and I think at this point, if they're at least top 2 seed in top 2 seed in the West, I'm gonna have a hard time saying no to Jokic. Let's just say that. As good as SGA is, and SGA is a phenomenal player. We know that.
He has to be number 1.
Okay.
He has to overtake SGA to really look in the camera and say, "What now?" Because that was my only argument with Randy.
Well, brother, he was a number 1. He was the one. She was the one last year. He still won it.
I'm looking at a triple double from a center.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm looking at 30, 13, and 9.5. 80% from the 60, like 54% from the field, 83% from the free throw line, 47% from 3.
Jesus Christ.
The numbers don't make sense.
And yet SGA still?
Again, because the argument for me would be is he has a better record without Chet.
That's the rub there. See, this is the main thing there. You just said it. No Chet. No Chet. Denver has been relatively healthy this year.
I mean, Russell's out now, and for me, Jamal's been playing hurt the first 2 months of the season.
Right.
He looks healthy now. Dropped 55 yesterday. New breakdown coming up. Dropped 55.
Look forward to that. Can't wait.
55 points. I'm like, oh, they're in shape now. They're looking for the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be interesting it's going to still be very interesting watching what that MVP race looks like if Denver continues to win.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you are. I'm still SGA now, but the more Denver wins and continue stacking the wins, if they get closer to OKC in the standings, I'm gonna have a hard time ignoring Jokic again. I'm gonna have a hard time ignoring Jokic. But again, I your point about no Chet is a massive check mark for our man SGA.
Also, one thing. Shout out to Braun from Denver. Clearly, you know, Denver saw something in him, and he's returning dividends. 20-something points a game. He's actually doing what they expecting him to do by getting in all these other guards. So, God bless.
Well, tomorrow is the start of NBA All-Star Weekend. We have a new format. It's 4 teams now, apparently. Team Kenny, Team Shaq, Team Charles, Team Ernie, right? I think.
Yeah, it's like 4 teams.
Yeah. Are you a fan of this? I'm not.
No,
Look, I praise Adam Silver for changing things and trying to be progressive and trying to keep things fresh. Hopefully, he can do that in the future with the league now as a whole in terms of like allowing defenses, allowing physical play going forward. We'll see how that plays out in years to come. But the All-Star Weekend thing, I don't. Whatever. Your thoughts?
I mean, we can't get guys to care.
And that's the problem.
See what happened was, right? The All-Star game was a time where you actually made your bones as a player against other players, right?
Yeah.
Because there was a time where you weren't in commercials. No one knew your name. You didn't have a sneaker. None of that happened until after either an all-star game or a championship. But now, 2025, it's new day. You know, you could be, you know, you already got your millions. You already got your shoe. Let's do Trae Young, for example. Shout out to Trae Young. I was talking to his dad online. Didn't even know it was his dad. So it's a great thing. I'm very cordial online because I was like, oh, I'm talking to Trae Young's dad. Take Trae Young. He just got invited to the All-Star game because Giannis said, I need a week off. You know, Trae got his you know, his own sneaker line. He doesn't need to really go to the All-Star game or take it seriously. You know, Kobe, every All-Star game.
Took it seriously.
I'm cracking someone's forehead. That's just me. Like, I'll break D Wade's nose to play defense. D Wade's, I'm on vacation. It's the weekend. It's an All-Star game. Why are you breaking my nose? Sorry, my bad. I'm Mamba. Sorry. I just like to win. I like to compete. I like to go after it. They don't got it. These guys don't got it. Now, mind you, the format, I was telling Randy J. Crew, I said maybe the format allows you to, because you go to pickup games and you have different guys that just need to work out, guys that take basketball seriously. You find out early who's not taking it seriously, who's not. You hear it. The guys that are taking it seriously is like, all right, you're not getting the ball anymore, or I need to get rid of you. So there's only so much that you can do if you're not taking it seriously defensively, and guys take it seriously offensively. You're gonna get embarrassed.
Yeah.
So something's gonna have to give. So when I see that the young teams, like there's a USA team, kind of like LeBron, Steph, KD, on that team, and then you have a rookie team, like Kenny Smith's all young players.
Yeah.
Kay Cunningham, I think's on there, is like all young players. They should take it as. You got 55-year-old LeBron James on the other side. He needs that work. He needs the work just so he know he's 55. And you need to tell him that. You know? You need to, like okay, Ant-Man, he's going to take it seriously. Because he takes games seriously. KD, you're going to get this work. Draymond Green, Steph, you're going to get this work. LeBron James, you're going to get this work. And I'm going to tell you to your face.
I just want these players who don't take it seriously as much as, you know, some do, are self-aware enough to realize that it's hurting the product, which hurts you guys in the end, and it hurts your fellow brothers in the end going forward.
No, they don't think of it.
They don't give a fuck, right?
Nah, they could care less about what anybody. I'm getting paid millions. Who cares? Who cares about my teammates? Who cares about the All-Star game and what they want? Who cares? Again, you want to make it competitive. I don't know if you want to increase the money. I don't know if you want to add a one-on-one component to make it spicy, because these folks aren't going to take it seriously. We like aggression. We like guys to take. We like the Kobe mentality, and it's been missing in the past couple of years. I don't know if it ever come back. I don't know if it ever will.
It's all about environment. It's environment.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever will. But you know, there are players that will, and I don't think Ja made the All-Star team, but Ja Morant, he definitely
he probably shouldn't have made it.
Yeah, I don't think he made it, but
I didn't see his name in there.
Yeah, so he would have taken it seriously. So we'll see. All we can do is cross our fingers and hope.
Yeah, definitely. All right, last one we got here. Non-basketball related here, but this past Sunday was Super Bowl. We also had a halftime show. Lamar performed.
Yes.
Your thoughts? Did you enjoy the performance? Because a very polarizing reaction from across the board. Your thoughts?
Yeah, listen. We can both walk into a museum, see a painting, and look at it differently.
Yeah.
Does it make your vantage point wrong or better than mine? No. It's just your vantage point of the picture that you're seeing. So when it comes to hip hop, it's your vantage point. You some of us have been fed so much baby food.
Yeah.
We don't know when it's a fine course meal. 5 course. We don't even recognize it. We're like, this is boring. Bring me the dancing songs. There's balance for that. True. There is balance for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop is a rainbow. It's a rainbow of artists. You have artists that make you dance. You have artists that make you laugh. You have artists that make you think. You have artists that make you want to shake your tail feather. You have all different types of, when you listen to them, that's what they do. K-Dot is a thinker. K-Dot wants you to think. So that's what you should expect from Kendrick Lamar performance. That's exactly what I got.
Yeah.
I got excited to go after the fact and do some research on why was Samuel L. Jackson there? Why was it Red, White, and Blue? And what was he trying to get to? And the different song choices. These are all things that I find great about hip hop. Being able to pull the gems that aren't really given to you. But some of us just like baby food. Some of us is like, ooh, goo gaga. Here you go. Shake, shake, shake. Dance, dance, dance. Hook, hook. And go for it.
That's Drake in a nutshell.
You can, I mean, many, whether it's Drake, whether it's, as many as folks on this, in the hip hop sphere, don't get me wrong. I have Drake's albums in my feed. There are times where I do want to hear something from Drake, and there are times where I do want to hear something from Kendrick. So that's fine. It's a balance. However,
a rainbow.
Say again.
It's a rainbow, as you said.
It's a rainbow. It's a coalition.
Yeah.
And don't be upset that you don't possibly it wasn't for you. It's all right. It wasn't for you.
And that's why I was for the most part I was understanding to the folks who are not familiar with his music, especially too. Because Kendrick Lamar, he's been around a while. Obviously, he's been around for at least 12, 13 years in the mainstream. But he's only really, like, he was more tied to the hip-hop genre as a whole. And unless you were, like, a hip-hop connoisseur, you probably were not really a fan. And it's only in the last couple of years, mainly the last 2 years of this Drake beef, that he's really blown up. So a lot of folks who see the name now, they hear the music, it's like, huh? I don't get it.
Yeah, the ones that are, your everyday, for folks that follow hip hop, they knew about K-Dot and the West Side and TDE and the music they was putting out, and quite frankly, that I've had debates about if his 5 albums are all classics. So he's been around for the hip hoppers, hip hoppers that follow and know. But then for your casual fans, it's like, oh, who's this Kendrick guy? Yeah, he's gonna have you thinking like, okay. And your casuals don't really. Sometimes your casuals don't like to think.
They don't care. They're not invested in the same way.
They're not invested, so they don't like to think. And it's like, well, if he's not making me shake my ass, I mean, what's the point? And I'm like, guys, it's a lot more than shaking your ass. I mean, when he makes a song called "Hope It's Not Too Late to Set My Demons Straight." When he says something like that and you don't get chills, like, what? And he, when you hear a song called Savior, on Mr. Morale, you hear Mr. Morale, you just hear the whole entire project. Each project from the previous has been different. Shout out to Tyler, the Creator. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but same concept. He's not going to give you the same thing over and over again. He's not going to talk about shooting you dead. He's not going. He's going to talk about what he feels is,
pertinent to him.
Is important, and you may relate, you may not, but that's his art, and that's what makes him special, and that's what makes anybody special. Just being able to pull out your art, put out what you think is great, and run forward from there. But yeah, K-Dot is. I
give it a B.
Oh, that's fine. I said K-Dot in the last year has the greatest run in hip hop history.
Really?
The greatest run in hip hop history. So the only other run comparable to this in general, just comparable to this, is DMX going platinum within 1 calendar year.
Yeah, the first 2 albums he put out, right? Yeah.
Will never be done again.
Right.
Okay. K-Dot literally, besides the Pulitzer, besides the Grammys already, last year gave you 4 singles, the best battle rap song ever, then the Super Bowl, 5 Grammys, then the Super Bowl.
Are you saying that it's a 1 year run? Best greatest 1 year run?
Best 1 year run.
Okay. I mean, run like the last 10 years.
Yeah, because everybody has a year, 2 years of a run. Everybody has one. Jay-Z, Ja Rule, DMX. Everybody had a hand in it. It's one thing to sell. It's one thing to sell and win trophies. Kendrick sold and won trophies. Will never be done.
I ain't got the platforms too on top of that. Super Bowl and all that stuff. Yep.
And he may win an Emmy for the Super Bowl performance. Yeah. Okay. Greatest run. Greatest one. No, I remember running.
And the DMX one's interesting too, because DMX, when his run in '98 was where we were mourning Tupac. We were mourning Biggie, and it was a big hole there. And DMX, I always said this too. One of the successes about DMX, I remember saying this on the episode I did here when he passed away a couple of years ago, that he filled the gap. He filled the gap for a couple of years. Facts. Where we needed someone. We needed someone to fill in that role, and he did that for a couple of years.
Filled it in. K-Dot, salute to you. This will be talked about for years to come. As I land the plane, Denny Blanco, It's in the Game podcast. I appreciate you, EJ, for having me on.
Of course.
Once again, sharing the information, and I will be back if I'm allowed to be.
Oh, you're always allowed to be. Come on, you know how we roll.
There it is.
Good job as always,
appreciate
brother.
You. Thank
yes,
you
sir.
So
Thank you.